Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology update for September 16th through 23rd, 2024. Well, we're in some very powerful times as we move deeper into eclipse season. On Tuesday, the 17th, Wednesday, the 18th, we have the Pisces full moon. And this Pisces full moon is a partial lunar eclipse. This Pisces full moon is happening at 25 degrees Pisces, and that puts it not too far away from Neptune at 28 degrees Pisces. So, very powerful activation of Neptune in Pisces. And all of our personal planets are involved with some sort of story, message, and drama, telling us that this is indeed the time when we begin to rewrite the story, when we take back the script of our lives and our world. And that's the power of the energy of Pisces, the death and rebirth of the astrological chart, astrological zodiac. And here we're having a death and rebirth of our world as we rehash and cleanse and clear the energies of the Piscean age so that we can move into a new age, the golden age, the Aquarian age. So this Pisces partial lunar eclipse is very important because it's looking to the past, just like we said, because it's conjunct Neptune. And Neptune, we've been getting in Pisces, is speaking to a rehash, clearing, redo, undo, rewriting of the Piscean age. So the moon coming up to Neptune for this full moon is amplifying this energy. We also have Saturn in Pisces going retrograde. And so this is about going back into the past. But eclipses are about endings and beginnings, also about timeline alignments and getting in line with our greater destiny. So this lunar eclipse happens at 25 degrees Pisces, and the nodes are at 6 degrees Aries and Libra right now. So this makes it a partial lunar eclipse, but wow, the energy. And the powerful energy is that moon coming up to Neptune. The moon rules our emotions and our energy body. And so coming up to Neptune, it's bringing forward a very intense, watery, spiritual, maybe confusing, the delusional energies, but also magic and miracles. So much is happening with in the sky right now, with every single one of our personal planets telling a story, and ultimately the sun coming up into an opposition with Neptune at 28 degrees Pisces. Neptune is the star of the show right now because Neptune is going to be forming the top of a kite when the sun comes into that opposition, the sun in Virgo. So the sun will oppose Neptune on the 21st of September, just a few days after that uh, Pisces partial lunar eclipse. And so that moves us right into the equinox energies. And so the personal planets playing out their stories is telling us what this next chapter is about. The eclipse season usually is 2 to 3 eclipses. There's 2 eclipses this year, this season. One this week, this Pisces lunar eclipse, and then there is a Libra solar eclipse on October 2nd, and that one happens at 10 degrees Libra. So that will be closer to the nodes at 6 degrees Libra and Aries. So that solar eclipse has a lot of power and energy to it. So we're moving up into that solar eclipse, but this lunar eclipse is speaking about shining a spotlight on the past, what's been hidden from the past, that we can reveal, cleanse, heal, and move forward. So, because the main energy that's bringing this forward is that Mars is now in Cancer. And Mars in Cancer is coming into a square with the nodes of the moon, or just has. Today is exactly square the nodes of the moon at 6 degrees. Very powerful that this eclipse season happens with the nodes of the moon at 6 degrees, Aries and Libra. Very powerful number around taking back our autonomy, taking back our humanness, because 6 is the number of human. We know that 3, 6, 9, the energies of enlightenment and activation, and the forces of control have wanted to steal our humanness and replace it with machines. And that keeps us in the lower creation, only able to create in the lower realm. That's the absconding and the taking over of the number 6. So the war for humanity's spiritual evolution is a war over the number 6. And it's very powerful that these eclipses this season happen right with the nodes at 6 degrees, Aries and Libra. This is a showdown where we claim our right to evolve spiritually as human beings. In order to do that, we have to claim our full autonomy. And so much of what this astrology is about is speaking to this. So, the sun, just after the day after the partial lunar eclipse, that's when the sun will start to feel the sun come into that opposition with Neptune. Now, Neptune makes the top of the kite, and this is going to form a kite formation with the sextiles to Neptune. So the bottom of the kite is the sun. Now, Venus came through here earlier last month and made this kite, and now it's the sun's turn. And Mercury will be making this kite on the 25th, 26th, next week of September. So this is very powerful because Neptune at the top of the kite is pointing the way. The energy of the kite is around bringing together different parts and pieces of ourselves so that we can take our whole experience to another level. That's what it means in your birth chart when you have a kite. Typically, the kite represents different elements of the kite are pieces of your experience and your knowledge, your wisdom over lifetimes. And then the kite is about bringing all of that lifetimes of knowledge together. And isn't that a beautiful energy for the times that we're living in right now? Imagine supernova souls flying their kite, putting the pieces together. And we have been living a fractured existence, going through what we've been going through as advanced souls to fight for our right to be sovereign and to have our evolution, to fight for our right, for our autonomy, and for our peace and our world and our mother. And so this is what everything that's coming up right now. So Mercury, the sun and then Mercury will both make this kite. And the reason why this kite is so powerful is because of these sextiles to our major player planets. So Neptune and Pluto and Uranus, all of our generational, slower moving, big player, big energy planets. And they're lining up for this epic lining up in a row between Pluto at the end of Capricorn, Neptune at the end of Pisces, and then Uranus at the end of Taurus. It's so powerful because we've got Pluto at 29 degrees, Neptune at 28, and right in the middle, and then Uranus at 27. So that is a grand trine between Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus in Earth signs, Uranus and Taurus, and Pluto and Capricorn. And when the sun comes in to make this kite, and then Mercury, they'll be making a grand Earth trine. So the kite is about taking the grand trine, that's the body of a kite, and lifting it up, changing perspective. You know, kites move in different directions. And so it's about like a dimensional shift. With an Earth trine, it's speaking to the Earth, Mother, going through a dimensional shift. This is what this is saying. Because get this, it's like the sun is the one triggering the kite in the next, coming up here this week. And the sun is, who do we think we are, our identity. In Virgo for supernova souls is about cleaning up and coming to peace and able to value ourselves as the healers that we are. Healing the healer inside of us, healing the persecution, and cleaning up all of the lies and stories of our past so that we can step into our incorruptible soul nature. And so this is a lot of pressure for supernova souls, because it's like the sun in Virgo is like, yeah, you gotta, in order to shine your light, you have to purify. We have to purify. We have to drop all the stories. We have to completely let go of everything we've been told about who we are and the life we've been living. And I guess that's kind of what happens when you fly your kite. Maybe this kite is like very powerful. It can lift us, all of us, up to a whole new level of existence and experience. So at the top of this kite is Neptune leading the way, which is dreams, visions, delusions, confusion. And it's kind of like, where are we going? We're in the fog. But we got the message that the closer you get to the center, to the vortex, to the power spot, this is so huge. It's coming through supernovas for what it is we're here doing, why we're even here, and what our next steps are. We are claiming back the placeholders, the key chakras and vortexes of the earth. What I was shown is that in a way we've been hijacked or kidnapped onto a simulation or a ship type of thing, where we have to fight in our being, in our soul, to claim back our organic living Mother Earth. This is where the energies were able to get so dark, because with our organic loving Mother Earth, our organic beautiful nature, it's impossible to twist and turn. And so we had to be abducted on some level. And this is what's coming to a stop. We're coming home to our organic Mother Earth. And it looks like we do that because again and again, we've been getting the message, bring them home to me, bring them home to me, she says. Now we're seeing that what the way that the forces took over the earth and blocked the organic uh, consciousness grid is through one by one claiming these chakras with darkness and distortion. So we are going back one by one and claiming these chakras back for the mother. And it's so powerful to be doing this work here as we prepare for the SuperNova Camas Hot Springs event this upcoming weekend. Wow, the energies and the shifting on the collective and individually, and this area of the earth that need to happen in order for this gathering to occur. We are so powerful, supernova souls, and the work we're doing is way beyond what we can even understand and imagine. One of the things we're doing is holding space for the next generation of incredible light beings to be incarnate and born on the earth at this time. And we've also been transmuting so much of collective energy through this planetary purge. Now we're coming to the end. You can feel it. I know it. You know it. It's time to put down all the stories about who we're supposed to be or something we need to fix or save or heal or fight. And we need to step into the truth of the world we know that is possible, that we want to see, that we want to co create. Our reality becomes what we say it is. Our subconscious has to respond. It's the feminine side of ourselves. And so we've got to start telling ourselves a new story. This is the energy of this kite with Neptune at the top of it. So, what is this new story about? The sun in Virgo opposing Neptune is saying, we've got to be who we really are as healers. And perhaps that also means that we're recognized and honored in the world again, the energy of healing. That's what lifts the kite up. Makes sense to me. And so Neptune, what makes the top of the kite, the top triangle of the kite, is these sextiles. And Neptune is in sextile with Pluto. We've been talking about this all year long. It's so exciting, so beautiful. At the very beginning of September, they came into exact sextiles just for a couple of days. They're going to be 1 degree out of sextile through the beginning of October. And we also have then that 1 degree, because that's Pluto's at 29 degrees Capricorn, Neptune's at 28, and then Uranus is at 27. So Neptune is just 1 degree out of sextile, exact sextile with Uranus in Taurus. So Neptune leading the way of this kite, saying we're going through the confusion, because coming back to this confusion energy, the mother has been telling us that, hey, don't worry about not being able to know where you're going or what you're doing. That's the grasping is coming from the old you that doesn't know what's going on. The new you, the true you, is learning how to trust in a different way. And it's so hard to trust after we've been so manipulated. I know, every step of the way. It's like we have to coax ourselves, and it's almost like we've got these paradigms. It's like, well, is it the nightmare? This reminds me a lot of the nightmare. I'm freaking out. And then maybe right next to the nightmare is the dream. Okay. And we have to orient and change our vibration and tell ourselves that new story. So we know about virtual reality, right? And so virtual reality means that we are in charge of our reality. And so we take the reins and we tell ourselves, this is the way it is. And we begin to live this truth. This is the power of the energy of understanding the memory of water. That we are mostly water, our earth is mostly water, and water has memory. And this is our subconscious. This is the divine feminine, the feminine within us, and the earth that responds. And the feminine of the earth is feeling unwanted, unloved, rejected, and cast aside. And so we're coming back to the feminine through the waters and talking to the waters and saying to the waters, we love you. This is the world we dream of. And that world we dream of is exactly the same picture of those Gaia codes deep, deep, deep in the earth, in the primary waters. The primary waters are waters that come from underneath the earth. We have two different water systems. We have an atmospheric water system. This is what we're told about. This is the everyday weather story of, and our idea that there's precipitation and then it lifts back up and comes back as precipitation. There is a whole nother water system called the primary water system. This water is under the ground, deep under the fissures of the earth. This water is so clean, so pure, so structured, so old, and yet so new, brand new, but with the codes of that uncorruptible nature, just like supernova souls. So the primary water is so pure, it's so structured. Now, the structuring of water comes from the way that water naturally bumps around the rocks and it allows the poles to align. This is really the secret and the key to hydration and to healing ourselves, being able to actually absorb the water. It has to do with the structure. And so the structure of water, the natural state comes from the water bumping around in the rocks and through the earth, and it's just purified and structured and brought back to its original code. You can take structured water and put it into water that's impure, and the structured water will purify the other water. This is called coherence. The other water, this is the subconscious, this is the feminine, will come into alignment. So this is what we're doing. We are the structured water, the healing for the earth, as we bring our polarity back into alignment, and the people around us have to come. The reason why they haven't is because we've been under technological control grid and it's falling apart. Are you feeling it? The matrix is completely falling apart. Yes, there's a big mess that needs to be cleaned up, but we are no longer under the grip of this control. And so now that the matrix energy is falling apart, people will be able to respond to the frequency and vibrations. We've been all quarantined. We got this picture that like there's been this micro dimensional level quarantine basically keeping us in. It looks like, I talked about the crop circles, but this looks like maybe cows going to slaughter or getting milked for their energy, I guess, keeping us in stalls. So if we can't feel each other and connect and grow our energy, then we can allowed to be food, more able to be food fed upon. We're more willing to allow ourselves, whether we realize it or not, to be fed upon energetically by the intense parasitic energies right now. Oh my gosh. But that's only because we don't have each other, and we haven't had this ability to connect and grow and have our consciousness, like coherence, affect those around us. So we know that the water, if you tell it hateful things, it doesn't look like a pretty crystal when it freezes. That's the Emotos showed us. You tell it loving thoughts, And so this is where we need to go. We need to take back the reins on our life and our consciousness. And that's this World Water Festival this weekend. So Supernova's Camas Hot Springs will be connecting with the World Water Festival on the 21st. So look out for this, and more information is available about this World Water Festival, worldwaterfestival.net. Very powerful, as we've sent our water into Japan to put them all the water together, so we can pray with all the water together to bring this coherence, this oneness into the vibration of the peace and the love that Dr. Emoto stood for, that he discovered within, that he expressed in his work. This heart, this truth, this profound knowledge of the memory of water, and the fact that water is indeed consciousness, and showing us how we have the power to create our consciousness through loving prayers and clean the water as well. So very beautiful energies there with the World Water Festival, and look out for more information on that. So this is so powerful because we've got this Neptune in Pisces, all this water energy leading the top of this kite, grand earth trine, lifting up the earth, taking it to a new level. And what are the edges of the kite taking the earth to a new level in Earth's ascension? On one hand, we've got Pluto in Capricorn going back last time in Capricorn, which is about facing down the false authorities once and for all, like mop up, right? The fire has been put out. No more forest fires, no more directed energy weapons, no more stoking the trauma drama flames, like through these created events. No, no more. And so this is this very powerful energy. Now, this is coming from, so Pluto, so that's the energy of Pluto in the kite. It's saying we have to release our loyalties to false authority energies that have been actually keeping us from our evolution, right? We have to face down those bullies. And it's not enough just to face down and say, hey, we see that you stole our power. We have to take it back. And that's what this final last stand of Pluto back in Capricorn is about. So that's in the kite. Then the other part of the kite, on the other side of Neptune, is Uranus and Taurus. Now, Uranus and Taurus is our permission for the power within us, our higher technologies. Taurus is worthiness and self-worth and wealth and resources. So with Uranus, we're talking about higher vibrational, higher technology, wealth, and resources. So the powers that be, the false control, stole our higher technologies, literally, through devolving us with our DNA manipulation, creating trauma and drama, destroying the earth, and calling it our fault. This wrong has to be righted. And are we there? Is it finally time to flip the table? Because we can't go into the Aquarian age. The Atlantean time was an Aquarian age. So if we're going to carry that story that it was our fault, we can't handle our own power, it's not ours to have, we're going to blow up the planet, like it's not allowed on Earth, like, and Mother Earth is saying, hey, these energies are harmonizing, and I'm plasma, I can't break, let's go, let's turn it on, this is Earth's ascension, and she's waiting for us to go with her, but we're scared because we've been programmed with fear, but we don't have time to be scared. All right. This is the message that's been coming through. So Mars is in Cancer, and Mars is our warrior and our fight and our action and our go and our power, raw physical power. So Mars is in Cancer. So it's the activation of the warriors for the mother. That's us. Finally, we're vindicated. Everything we've ever stood for, loved, worked for, died for, lived for is her. And she's finally getting the respect that she deserves in this world. And we get to stand up and be like, we were with her all along. Our mother goddess. And it's her ascension. So Mars is fighting for her, right? So we've got this like new dream. The kite is a new dream. Sun in Virgo saying it's a new dream of the healers being treated with reverence once again, rather than burned at the stake. We got to be ready for that. We got to be ready to hold and own our wealth. Is this why we're being so challenged with parasitic energies? Literally, like, is it yours? Oh, give me some of that. It's like, no, what's mine is mine. Creation, Mother gave it to me. We must take responsibility for the creation power within us, around us, and our birthright by being born. And so much of this time is about that as we stand up in this autonomy, stand up in our sovereignty, and take back our power. So Mars in Cancer is fighting for the mother's worlds, and Mars is coming into square with the nodes. Is exact square with the nodes today. And so Mars square the nodes is saying, oh no. Mars is like, let's go with the love, with the nurturing. But this is saying, North Node Aries is saying, well, you gave your power away and your life force away. And the South Node Libra is saying, because you trusted the wrong people and you were naive and you were manipulated and you keep being a doormat and you keep being a place for them to wipe their feet and steal your energy while you flail around in scarcity and survival mode. Oh, isn't that fun? Well, you're the queen or the king, like with full access to source creation energy, everything you need right here in our own body. This is the truth of these technologies, going back to Uranus and Taurus. So it's like this whole earth kite is trying to lift up this ascension, and it means taking back our technology, taking back our power, taking back our power from the false control, dreaming a new dream that brings the healers. Because if we talk about this, how much of the world worships and honors Jesus, Yeshua, as a man and what he did and what he represented with Christ consciousness? The reason people followed him, we're told miracles. The miracles that they're talking about were miracle healings. So the healers have the most value and the most wealth in our world. And doesn't it make sense? In this world that we've had to live in, this is so sorely needs healing. Everywhere needs healing and love. And here we are abundant and yet hogtied. Nobody really wants what we have. And yet we have the miracle solutions within us. Is this the activation? Are we the activation of the miracles and the magic of the Piscean age that was stolen from us? Are we the inheritance of the spiritual gifts and higher technologies in our very own body? It's very confusing, very powerful. I'm sure we talk about it all day. But then next week, or for the equinox, Mars will be square Black Moon Lilith. And so Mars in Cancer square Black Moon Lilith is saying, hey, if it's hidden and it's dark and it's scary, but it's hurting the mother or it's not in alignment with the mother, it's got to be revealed. But it's about bringing love and compassion. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to be antagonistic. I'm not going to do that. I will overpower the room with love. This is the power of Mars and Cancer, and giving us the gumption, giving us the strength to claim our world, to claim the mother's love, to claim what's right and good and true, to stop apologizing for being the good, healer, loving beings that we are. We have to undo this persecution. We cannot. This is the deal. For all these ages, we've been putting it sweeping it under the rug, or through this whole age, through this whole time, this whole evolution. Oh, it's okay. There's a little bit of evil over there, and it's like now the evil, the darkness, like it just is blooming to the point where, we have to decide if we're going to save the organism or if we were going to let the organism succumb to, in this case, is the disease, artificial intelligence. You know. Are we going to save the organism? And this is like, that's North Node and Aries. We're all fighting for our life, fighting for our soul, fighting moment to moment. When you're around energies that are hosting that technological vibration, you will feel negative, you will feel challenged, you will feel preyed upon. It's getting really, really clear who's got access to their own source and who doesn't. And we cannot play host. It's like, yes, the negative forces need to be here to push our evolution, and it's all in God's, play, and we get that, right? But we cannot play host. We can't be like, oh, well, it's okay, the evil gets to be here. It's like, no, because that is ready to take over your organism and your life and your preciousness, and you'll have nothing left. So we've got, this is, it's not until it's a life or death situation that the biology of the human is designed to rally and save itself. And that's the biology of the earth right now. And the mother's like, come on, you guys, wake up. And we're like, come on, mom, wake up. Let's do this. And then she's like, I'm scared. And then we're like, we're scared. We're vulnerable. Nobody wants to talk to us. Nobody cares. We've been fighting this battle for her and for humanity, and nobody even wants us around. Enough of this. We've been treated like such, just pretty horribly, or like supernova souls coming in with this huge desire to help and heal the earth, and then to be persecuted in the way that we have. And we continue to allow ourselves because we forgive them, and we want to forgive, right? We know the key is forgiveness. Um, when do the scales balance? When does the tables turn? It has to be righted. We cannot keep going out of balance. We're so out of balance right now. And so we all know we're waiting for this point where it's like mother says, let's flip. What are we flipping? The 90-degree turn to the next level dimension. That's a pyramid step, you know, almost it's like inside out. Uh, but she's in charge, she's got it, and we're learning to trust. And this is one of the hardest things, but I think that's was what this astrology is saying, because she's like, you cannot. So coming back to the vortex and the working with the vortex and the power of the confusion of the times we're in right now, the closer you get to the power spot, to the vortex, to the ceremonial place, to the action, to the energy, the more confused you're going to become, because it's like, are you really ready to find it, or are you going to get distracted? Like, are you determined enough to make it through the fog to get to that ceremonial place? Because a lot of people can't even see it exists, much less find it. This is the energy that we're dealing with right now. You got to stay, we're being asked by mothers to stay hyper focused on the way, the path, her love, more of it in our hearts and our souls, overflowing, and trusting and loving ourselves. Part of loving ourselves is understanding that the darkness within us is coming up to be released as well. And just been like, oh God, I don't want to look at that, I don't want to have that. But it's like, it's coming up because it's leaving. We have had to play host to so much, which is not true to us. This is the biggest pain for supernova souls in this existence, is how far you've had to go away from what really matters. And the time we're living in is saying that we've got to come back to what really matters if we're going to move into the abundant age, which is destined for us. And that's kind of this Mars and Cancer. It's like the mother's love and facing, um, you know, that we're not going to accept half-ass love anymore. We're not going to accept the elite that allow most of the world to suffer, um, while they, I mean, it's just, we can't, the mother's way will reign again. And that's what's happening. And so this Mars square the nodes, Mars square Black Moon Lilith, that's what it's about. Where is their darkness, and where is their shadows? Where is their contracts with lower loyalty, contracts with lower energy frequency vibrations that are keeping you from being able to fully own your energy and your power, and us in our consciousness moving forward, our collective consciousness. So Mars is square the nodes, the sun is going to be opposite of Neptune and making that kite shape. Mercury is making a square with Saturn on the 18th and 19th, and also Venus will be opposing Chiron, Venus in Libra. So all of our personal planets, and this is really interesting because the personal planets are not really involved in the kite. The kite is happening at the later degrees, 27, 28, 29. And so Venus opposite Chiron, Mercury is happening at 22 degrees. Mercury square Saturn is happening right in the very middle of Pisces. And so Mercury just had this retrograde, right? In Leo, went into Virgo, back into Leo, 3 squares with Uranus, fighting and pushing for understanding and knowledge around why we don't have access to the technology that's ours, that higher technology that's ours in our body. Mercury's pushing, because the light of Leo, the expression of the higher, the advanced soul, is intuitive awareness and literally light body, your light turning on. And so Leo is talking about this full expression. And so Mercury turning direct there at the end degrees of Leo and coming with 3 squares to Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius. Um, I mean, yeah, the ruler of Aquarius, um, and square to Leo, that Mercury and Leo. It's like, why can't we take back our technology so that we can turn our light on? You know, why can't we turn our light on so we can take back our technology? Like, what is keeping us? And then it's interesting that the retrograde of Mercury went into Virgo. So just 4 degrees, but 4 is a number of establishing. And it's like healers, healing. It was the persecution of the healers that got us here. It's the elevation, the reverence, and the honoring of the healers that's going to get us out of here. Hello. It's so bigger, so much bigger than what you can imagine. Supernova Soul, hang in there. Wow. What an incredible time. Because now Mercury is out of retrograde shadow, ready to roll in Virgo, squaring up with Saturn, retrograde in Pisces, saying Saturn's like, nope, the old way is this way. And Mercury's saying, no, now we're cleaning it up. Now we're going to own it. Now we're going to say the healing, the love, the nurturing is the most powerful, beautiful force. It's what only thing that really matters. If we're going to come back down to what really matters, you know, what needs to happen for our collective consciousness to get to this place? We know we've been through it, supernova souls. That ego's been beaten out of you. Thank God, so you can stand up as the true light in the power of who you are. And now is the time. So the other thing, so Mercury squares Saturn, Saturn, the timekeeper, the laws, the rules, the old way, and Mercury saying, now we're going to move forward and do it the new way. And then Venus opposite Chiron. Venus in her home sign just wants to rest in the garden, and opposition with Chiron saying, girl, you got to fight. This is your last chance to fight for your freedom and your life. Let's do this. And at the same time, Mars square the nodes. That's the battle too. The battle for the mother's world. And we're all in it together. So the mother's world is our access to higher technology and the reverence and honoring of the healers so that we can get back on track. Very, very powerful times and energies. So this Pisces lunar eclipse coming up here on Tuesday, September 17th, September 18th in some of the world. We'll have the activation on Tuesday, September 17th, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Very powerful day because the Pisces partial, we're in eclipse season. We got that Libra eclipse, solar eclipse coming. But this Pisces full moon partial eclipse is saying everything together, the old and the new. We're at the Ouroboros. It's the time that the snake eats its tail and starts over again. We are going to roll all that doesn't fit in a line into the organic plan, and we're going to rework it, and we're going to rehash it, and we're going to regurgitate it, and we're going to start fresh and new and get rid of the old. Very, very powerful energies of transformation in this Pisces lunar eclipse, a portal, a death and rebirth portal for the earth, because we've got the earth's ascension, Mars, our warriors, the warriors activated for the mother again, and Mercury standing up to Father Time saying, hey, I figured out that I can create this free energy right here in my own house with these simple things, and I think I can do it in my body, and I'm turning on my light, and I'm activating my Tesla coil within my being, and we're going to get out of this mess, because all we have to do is live and breathe it into existence, she says. Just remember how powerful you are and take it back. Live and breathe it into existence. It's already written. It's already created. We don't have to build it. We've planted these seeds throughout this whole evolution. So powerful, so beautiful. So thank you so much for being here, going through all you've gone through, for your support, being a part of the Supernova Soul Tribe. I really appreciate your support through these shifting times. It means so much to me, and I just really honor you being here and listening to these messages, embodying, doing this incredible work together. we are so powerful, and we're going to find out the incredible work that we've been doing that we had no idea, and move into the fun part where we actually know what we're doing. And that's it. North Node in Aries says it's time to celebrate, to be childlike, to come back to joy. And so we're taking back our power and our energy so that we can be in joy. And that's the thing. The programming, the energies, the parasitic forces in our body and our world bring our energy down, 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 down. You know, when you take your power back, you take your energy back, you cleanse out the nano from your body, you get your energy back, you start. And this is what's happening naturally and organically right now. And we're taking our energy and our power back to take our world back. So thank you so much for your support, your energy, for being here. Look out for live streams and announcements around the World Water Festival, and sharing with you what happens in Montana this weekend at SuperNova, Camas Hot Springs. We'll be staying in touch over this YouTube channel. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you tomorrow at the Pisces Partial Lunar Eclipse, Pisces full moon activation, and that's at 10 a.m. when Tuesday, September 17th, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. I hope to see you there or on the replay. We're working outside of time. Get this powerful activation of this eclipse season as we lift up the earth, take it to a whole new level, and rewrite her story back to her story, and come back to our loving mother's arms. Thank you so much for being a warrior for her and for you and for the healers and the lovers of this world. May you be honored with blessings for all that you've gone through and created and healed and loved in this world. This world now honors you. So I look forward to seeing you soon, hopefully on that activation, the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.